The wedding was a few hours away when I learned I wasn't invited to it. My phone buzzed once on the kitchen counter. I didn't rush. I rarely did anymore. When I picked it up, the message sat there plain and unembellished as if it were a grocery reminder. You're not invited to the wedding. It's a classy event. Before we continue, please subscribe to the channel and write in the comment section what time it is where you're watching from. This helps me know how far my story goes. Now, let's get back to the story. It was from my daughter, Victoria. The story you are about to hear is a work of fiction created to convey lessons about family, emotions, and human values. All characters and events are illustrative. I read it twice, then a third time, waiting for a correction that never came. No apology followed, no explanation, just that sentence, polished and final. Before I could set the phone down, the family chat lit up. Family. My sister Sandra reacted with a laughing emoji, the kind with tears at the corners of its eyes. Not laughter, mockery. Then another message appeared beneath it. There's no place for failures. That one wasn't from Victoria. Sandra again. Public deliberate. I'm Margaret Chen. I'm 71 years old. I raised my daughter alone after her father died. I worked numbers most of my life, paid bills on time, and kept my voice low even when it shook. I had learned silence early. It kept things peaceful. It kept people comfortable. Victoria had always said she appreciated that about me. My phone buzzed again. A typing bubble appeared, disappeared, appeared again. I imagined them watching the screen, waiting for me to protest, to beg, to apologize for existing in the wrong way.
I didn't give them that.
I typed one word. Understood. That was it. No punctuation, no explanation. The chat went quiet long enough for confidence to settle in on their side of the screen. Long enough for them to believe they had won something. I opened my email instead. Not the chat, not my contacts. I scrolled past congratulations and seating charts until I found what I needed. Names, accounts, confirmations, things Victoria assumed were permanent because they had always been there. I tapped one message and read it carefully. Line by line, the silence in the kitchen felt different then, heavier, intentional. I set the phone face down and reached for my glasses. There were a few things I needed to cancel before the day could continue. Victoria used that word the way some people use perfume, not to smell better, but to cover something else. It's not personal, she had said a year ago, when I showed up to a charity luncheon in flats instead of heels. It's just Charleston is particular. I remembered that line clearly now. I remembered how she'd said it lightly, like she was doing me a favor. Classy. Charleston had always been a place where manners mattered more than honesty. Where people smiled while measuring you. Victoria learned that faster than I did. She learned how to adjust her voice, how to soften her past, how to make me smaller without ever raising her tone. Mom, don't tell that story, she'd whispered once, arm tight around mine. It sounds sad. It happened, I told her. Yes, she said, smiling at the table. But not everything needs to be shared. Over the years, she edited me the way people edit photographs. A little less here, a little quieter there. When I asked if she minded, she always answered the same way. I just want things to look nice. After her text, Sandra called.
She didn't ask how I was. You can't take it so seriously, she said.
Weddings are stressful. Victoria's under pressure. She told me I'm not invited, I replied, and you laughed. Oh, Margaret, Sandra sighed. You know how you come across sometimes. She's marrying into a certain family. So I'm a liability, I said. That's not what I said. It's what you meant. Sandra went quiet, then changed tactics. You've always been sensitive. I thought about all the times Victoria corrected my words mid-sentence. The times she asked me to stand back during introductions. The times she paid for my haircut and then suggested I wear it differently. This wasn't a mistake. It wasn't stress. It was a decision she'd been rehearsing for years. Victoria didn't want a mother at her wedding. She wanted an image that didn't remind anyone where she came from. I ended the call and looked at my phone again. The word classy sat there smug and finished. I opened my messages, scrolled past Victoria's name, and went somewhere else entirely. I didn't go looking for proof. It came to me the way truth usually does, quietly, when no one thinks you're paying attention. My email was already open. I typed one word into the search bar. Wedding. The list filled the screen. Venue deposit, my name. Catering retainer, my name. Lighting, linens, live quartet, vendor meals, my name again. Even the planner's coordination fee authorized from my account, signed by me, renewed without discussion. My phone rang. Victoria's name flashed once, then vanished. A message followed instead. Can we talk later? I'm busy. Busy spending money she didn't think how to face. I scrolled farther back. Months, a year. Each payment precise, predictable, unquestioned. I'd been asked once at the beginning, would you mind helping with a few things? Victoria had said just to get us started. Helping had turned into carrying. Carrying had turned into silence. Sandra called again. This time her voice was sharper. You're really going to embarrass her over money, she said. I'm not embarrassing anyone, I replied. I'm reading my statements. She scoffed. You always kept records. Your husband rubbed off on you. Robert Chin believed in clarity. He used to say money should never whisper because secrets were where resentment learned to breathe. When he handed me our checkbook years ago, he didn't make a speech. If it's yours, he said, own it. If it's not, don't pretend. Victoria texted again. Mom, don't overthink this. It's just how weddings work. I typed back slowly. These charges came from my account. There was a pause. Then you said you wanted to help. I did, I answered. I didn't say I wanted to disappear. Another pause. Longer this time. I opened one confirmation email and read the line I'd skimmed before. Primary account holder Margaret Chen. Authorization revocable at any time. I closed the message without replying. I wasn't invited to the celebration because I wasn't meant to be seen. I was meant to be useful, silent, reliable, replaceable. I straightened the stack of papers beside my keyboard and opened the next email on the list. Sandra didn't lower her voice when she called. She never did when she thought she was right. You're taking this too personally, she said. Weddings make people emotional. Don't turn it into a scene. I wasn't planning a scene, I replied. I was planning to stay home. She laughed short and dismissive. Oh, Margaret, you always say that, and then you show up anyway. Victoria knows that. A message popped up from Victoria before I could answer. Let's not blow this out of proportion. I stared at the words. Then, at the typing bubble that followed. You wouldn't really do anything drastic, she added. This is just stress talking. I didn't respond. Sandra tried again. You've always helped her. That's what mothers do. You're not suddenly going to pull the rug out now. I haven't said anything, I told her. Exactly, she said. Pleased because you know better. The family chat woke up again. A cousin sent a gift. Someone else wrote, she'll cool off. Another message followed. She always does. I remembered the first apartment Victoria rented. The first car payment she missed. The first time she needed help with something she didn't want anyone else to know about. Each time I stepped in quietly, each time she learned I would. The laughter continued, not cruel, not loud, comfortable, confident. Sandra said, just don't embarrass her. She's marrying into people who notice things.
I'm sure they do, I said.
Victoria called. Then, I let it ring. When I didn't answer, she sent another message. Please don't make me worry about this today. I set the phone down without replying. I opened my contacts and scrolled past family names until I found one I hadn't needed to use before. Then another, then a third. Each call was brief, polite, purposeful, no explanations, no warnings. By the time Sandra texted again, her tone had softened. You're being very quiet, she wrote. I looked at the screen and said nothing. The laughter faded into waiting. The venue manager called just after noon. Her voice was practiced, careful in the way people sound when they need something confirmed before they proceed. Yes. Chun, this is Catherine Morrison from Harbor Hall, she said. I wanted to clarify a few details before we finalize tomorrow's schedule. I didn't correct her when she said my schedule. I'm listening, I said. There were several upgrades requested late last night, Catherine continued. Expanded floral coverage, additional lighting, and an extended quartet set. We needed authorization from the primary account holder. I didn't approve any changes, I replied. There was a pause, then a quiet intake of breath. That's what I thought. The account is under your name, Margaretchen. You're listed as the sole financial authority. Yes, I said, I am. Catherine lowered her voice. Your daughter seemed surprised when we asked for confirmation. I imagined she would be. Another pause. This one longer. For clarity, Catherine said, our contracts allow the account holder to revoke authorization at any time. That includes deposits, pending charges, and vendor access. I've read the contract. I said, please hold all changes. No exceptions. Understood, she replied. Should we proceed with the original terms? No, I said, freeze everything.
She didn't argue.
I'll send written confirmation within the hour. When the call ended, my phone buzzed almost immediately. Victoria, why is the venue calling me? She demanded. They said something about approvals. They called the person paying, I said. That's not fair, she snapped. You said you'd handle it. I did, I replied. Handling it doesn't mean surrendering control. Sandra joined the conversation seconds later. This is unnecessary, she said. You're making things complicated. I'm following the contract, I told her. Victoria's voice sharpened. You're doing this to punish me. I'm doing this to be accurate. Silence followed. Not the comfortable kind. The kind that meant something had shifted. I opened Catherine's email when it arrived. Everything was spelled out in plain language. Names, dates, authority. I replied with one sentence. Please confirm that all authorizations are suspended until further notice. The confirmation came back quickly. I closed my laptop and set my phone aside. There was nothing left to explain. Catherine's confirmation arrived first. Authorization revoked as requested. All pending charges suspended. No exclamation points, no alarm, just a clean sentence that changed everything. Another email followed within minutes, then another. Catering acknowledged the hold. The lighting company confirmed suspension. The quartet replied with a single line. We'll await further instruction from the account holder. I hadn't raised my voice. I hadn't explained myself. I had simply stopped signing my name where it didn't belong anymore. Victoria called again. I answered this time. What did you do? She asked. Her voice wasn't angry now. It was thin. I told them the truth. I said that I'm the one responsible for the account. You can't just pull everything, she said. People are already setting up schedules. I didn't pull anything, I replied. I paused it. That's the same thing, she snapped. No, I said calmly. One is panic, the other is control. She went quiet, then tried again. This is my wedding. I know, I said, that's why you should be paying for it. Sandra joined the call, without asking. Margaret, this is spiraling, she said. Vendors are confused. People are calling. They're calling the wrong person, I replied. I've fixed that. You're enjoying this, Sandra accused. I'm being accurate, I said. There's a difference. A message popped up from Catherine while Sandra was still speaking. All vendors notified. Access restricted to primary account holder only. Victoria's breathing changed.
You're doing this on purpose, she said.
You want me to beg?
I want you to be honest, I said.
With them, with yourself. That's not fair, she said again, weaker this time. Neither was pretending I don't exist, I answered. The call ended abruptly. I didn't know who hung up. I sat with the quiet that followed. It wasn't dramatic, no shouting, no slammed doors, just a series of confirmations stacking neatly in my inbox. By mid-afternoon, the tone of the messages shifted. Questions replaced assumptions. Requests replaced demands. Nothing exploded. But something fundamental had locked into place, and everyone could feel it. Victoria called just before evening this time. She didn't pretend to be calm. What did you tell them? She demanded. Everyone is calling me. I told them I'm the account holder, I said. That's all.
You made me look incompetent, she snapped.
Do you know how that sounds to people? It sounds accurate, I replied. Her breath caught. The anger slipped, replaced by something tighter. They're asking questions, Mom. The planner, the venue, Benjamin's mother. Sandra took the phone from her. I could hear the movement, the urgency. You're sabotaging her, Sandra said. This is cruelty, Margaret. You're punishing her because you're hurt. I was hurt when I was erased, I said. This is different. You're enjoying the power, Sandra insisted. Admit it. I'm exercising responsibility, I answered. The power was always there. I just stopped pretending it wasn't. Victoria came back on the line, her voice lower now. Benjamin's family thinks I hid something, she said. His mother asked why the accounts aren't in my name. And what did you tell her? I asked. I told her it was complicated. It isn't. I said, it's documented. There was a knock at her end, muffled voices. She covered the phone and whispered something urgent, then came back sounding smaller. She wants to speak to you, Victoria said. Just to clear things up. No, I replied. Silence stretched. Then Sandra spoke again, slower this time. You're really going to let this ruin her marriage? Vivian Ashford is here. I paused. I know. She's asking why nothing is moving forward, Victoria continued. She says the venue won't release anything without speaking to you. I won't be coming, I said. That's not what I meant, she said quickly. She wants answers. Then give her the honest ones. A moment passed. Then a new voice came through, calm and measured. This is Vivian, she said. I don't believe we've met properly. No, I replied. We haven't. I don't need explanations, Vivian said. Only clarity. Are these arrangements yours? They were, I said. They no longer are. Another pause. Shorter this time. Thank you for telling me, she said. That explains the hesitation. I'm sure it does, I replied. She didn't ask me to intervene. She didn't ask me to reconsider. She said one thing before ending the call. Integrity has a way of surfacing, Vivian said, especially on days meant to display it. After that, the messages slowed. Guests waited. Schedules stalled. The word confusion started appearing in texts that didn't require a response. Victoria called once more. I let it ring. From where I stood, nothing was falling apart. It was simply no longer being held together by someone who had been asked to disappear. The call stopped first, not all at once, but in a way that felt deliberate. As if people were comparing notes before deciding whether to speak. Vivian Ashford called that afternoon, not to argue. I wanted to let you know, she said, that the planner will not be continuing with this event. I understand, I replied. She cited misrepresentation, Vivian added. She doesn't work with clients who obscure financial authority. That's reasonable, I said. Vivian didn't linger. She didn't apologize on anyone's behalf. She thanked me for my clarity and ended the call. That alone told me everything. Victoria texted later, her words stripped of anger and polish. They know, she wrote. All of it. I didn't ask who they were. In Charleston, knowledge traveled softly, but efficiently. It passed through raised eyebrows, declined invitations, conversations that ended early. Sandra called once more, her voice brittle. You didn't have to go this far. I didn't go anywhere, I said. I stayed exactly where the truth was. You've damaged her reputation, Sandra insisted. I didn't create it, I replied. I just stopped propping it up. Victoria tried again that evening. Her voice shook. Benjamin's parents asked why my accounts were empty, she said. They asked how I planned to maintain things going forward. And what did you say? I asked. I said I was reorganizing, she whispered. I closed my eyes. Reorganizing requires ownership. There was no answer. I logged into my accounts and did what should have been done years ago. I closed the shared access. I transferred remaining balances. I documented the end of financial responsibility in writing and sent copies where they belonged. When Victoria realized the accounts were no longer linked, she called again. You cut me off, she said. I separated us. I replied. There's a difference. You're leaving me exposed, she said. No, I told her. I'm leaving you honest. She didn't cry. She didn't shout. She went quiet in a way that sounded unfamiliar to her. Later that night, a message came through from the planner. Just one line, for future reference. We cannot recommend our services. I archived it without replying. What they lost wasn't just money. It was the ability to pretend. And in this city, pretense was the most expensive currency of all. The refund confirmations came in quietly, one after another. No apologies attached. just numbers returning to where they had come from. I waited until every transaction cleared before I did anything else. Then I made one call. "This is Margaretchen," I said. "I'd like to make a donation." The woman on the line thanked me and asked if I wanted the gift acknowledged publicly. "No," I replied. "Put it toward women who need a start, not a spotlight." I transferred the full refunded amount to a Charleston Women's Fund that helped older women re-enter the workforce after divorce or loss. It felt right, final, like closing a door without slamming it. After that, I drafted a formal notice. Plain language, no emotion, effective immediately. I am no longer financially responsible for any expenses, obligations, or representations made on behalf of Victoria Chen. I signed it, dated it, and sent copies to the planner, the venue, and my attorney. Documentation mattered. It always had. Victoria texted once more before noon. "So, this is it," she wrote. "This is what honesty looks like," I replied. Sandra followed with a longer message filled with words like family and forgiveness. I didn't respond. Boundaries don't need defending once they're in place. That morning, I made coffee and drank it while it was still hot. No phone buzzing, no questions waiting, just quiet that belonged to me. I thought about Robert, about what he used to say when money complicated things. If people only love what you provide, they don't love you. Here's the life lesson I learned the hard way. Helping someone isn't the same as carrying them. Love doesn't require self-erasure. And dignity is not something you ask permission to keep. If this story resonated with you, take a moment to reflect on the boundaries in your own life. I sent one final message to the family thread before muting it. I love you. I won't finance disrespect. This boundary stands. The phone went silent. For the first time in years, my morning didn't belong to anyone else.